Thank you for joining my presentation today, folks. First, I want to mention and recognize the sources used in this presentation. I found a great deal of my information on skinchakra.eu, skincancer.org, American Cancer Society, accessible online on cancer.org, the IFRA. If you're already not acquainted with the title IFRA, we're going to speak about the International Fragrance Association. The IFRA is the official self-regulatory representative body of the fragrance industry worldwide. Its main purpose is to ensure the safety of fragrance materials through a dedicated science program. Now, based on their own description, the IFRA is a comprehensive, global, and responsive system. The system is strict, offering the greatest degree of protection to the greatest number of people. It is comprehensive, looking at different product types and body areas. It is responsive, reacting fast to new scientific data. And it is global, ensuring that people worldwide can have the same level of confidence. Like a lot of their regulations were modified very recently, experiencing the pleasure that comes from a perfumer creativity. And the confidence comes from the IFRA standards. Guidelines are recognized by government authorities and trade bodies around the world. The standards are compulsory for all IFRA members, who produce around 80% of the global volume of fragrance. So you might be asking yourself how the IFRA sets its standards and how it properly functions. The IFRA standards setting process principally involves the Research Institute for Fragrance Materials and the Independent Expert Panel on Fragrance Safety. They also, through a consultation phase, involve their members and stakeholders in the process. Here's how it works. The International Fragrance Association sends the RIFM information about a fragrance material, including exposure situation, usage concentration, variety of use, volume of use, chemical composition, olfactory profile, olfactory potential, etc. And the RIFM prepares a comprehensive dossier on the material, including all available safety data. If necessary, the RIFM initiates and organizes safety studies to fill gaps in knowledge about the material. The independent expert panel evaluates the data. It checks whether the data supports current use levels in such a way that there is no risk to consumers. If the safety assessment does not support current use, the panel instructs the International Fragrance Association to issue a standard. The International Fragrance Association prepares a standard in line with its standard setting process. The draft standard is sent to the International Fragrance members and stakeholders for consultation. The consultation period allows members and stakeholders to provide the International Fragrance Association with additional data or scientific studies that may need to be considered in setting the final standard. If no additional data or additional information is received during the consultation phase, the final standard is published as a part of an amendment to the International Fragrance Code of Practice. Following publication, members have a specified period to change internal systems and apply the standard. Before we look at safety data on perfumery materials which are prohibited in fragrance compounds, and before we get into the opinion of scientific committee on cosmetic product and non-food products intended for consumer concerning an initial list of perfumery materials, which must not form part of fragrances, compounds used in cosmetic products. Let's talk about phototoxicity. What is phototoxicity? Phototoxicity is a general term that refers to any skin reaction that occurs when an exogenous, something that is foreign or something that your body has not made. When an exogenous substance is exposed to ultraviolet rays, the substance may be a chemical or a medicine. Typically, it is applied directly on the skin. Although sometimes it is taken orally, it makes its way to the skin, people can be exposed to UV rays from direct sunlight or artificial sources such as tanning beds. There are two kinds of phototoxicity. In photoirritation, the affected area of skin may resemble an exaggerated sunburn. These one-time effects go away over time and occur in anyone given enough of material and UV light. Photosensitization reactions are an immune system response and resemble allergic contact dermatitis. Red, bumpy, or itchy skin. The induction of photoallergy is rare and dependent on an individual's immune system. But once induced, it persists like an allergy response. So the question we're interested in is whether fragrances cause phototoxicity or whether they have ingredients that cause phototoxicity. Here's an interesting fact from skincancer.org. It says no matter your skin type, if you develop photosensitivity, you may be especially at risk for lasting skin damage and skin cancer from even limited exposure to UV radiation. Not everyone develops photosensitivity, but if you have a higher risk, your best option is to take steps to prevent sun-sensitive reaction from happening. So the answer to this question is an ingredient has to absorb UV rays to have phototoxic potential. Fortunately, about 94% of synthetic fragrance ingredients do not absorb UV rays. And that is the good news. In the absence of available study data, scientists must test any ingredient that does absorb UV light. While our testing paradigm for photoirritation is clear-cut, photosensitization testing is a challenge. Photosensitization testing in humans is not ethical because of the rare potential for causing persistent light reactions. Likewise, scientists avoid testing in animals whenever possible. Phototoxicity coincides with the symptoms of skin irritation or exaggerated sunburn like erythema, pruritus, and edema. So here's the interesting part, and let's ask ourselves another question. How can the RIFM be sure that the newly developed fragrance ingredients will not cause photosensitization? The RIFM is collaborating with 3 different groups to investigate in vitro, non-animal petri dish methods for determining whether a fragrance material may cause photosensitization. One partnership involves both IIVS, a non-profit organization dedicated to the promotion of non-animal test methods, and cosmetic manufacturer Shiseido. By the way, Shiseido is a Japanese multinational personal care company. It is a skincare, hair care, cosmetic, and fragrance producer. In this 3-way collaboration, we're looking at 3 separate assays to predict photosensitization. They are the same 3 assays used for skin sensitization, but with an added UV irradiation step. Photopeptide reactivity assay, DPRA, photokeratinosens, and photohuman cell line activation test, also known as HCLAT, HCLAT. These assays will provide us with information on whether, in the presence of UV light, the material binds to the skin proteins, and if in the presence of UV light, the material activates keratinocytes and dendritic cells. These are key events in the overall process of photosensitization. The second partnership is with Senza Gin, a company specializing in immunotoxicity, studies on genetic material in test tubes. Senza Gin uses a skin assay called GARD, G-A-R-D, Genomic Allergen Rapid Detection, to predict the ability of chemicals to induce skin sensitization. So GARD uses a human myeloid leukemia cell line called Senza cell, which acts as an in vitro model of human dendritic cells, which communicate with T cells to start up the immune process. This collaboration will focus on modifying the GARD assay to include UV irradiation to predict photosensitization. Through these two partnerships, our IFM expects to develop a toolkit of non-animal tests to help us ensure that consumers can safely enjoy their favorite fragrance products. So why do we use GARD or GARD? Well, working within the field of predictive toxicology, we're continuously searching, looking for methods that are human relevant, highly accurate, efficient, and ethical. That's really important. If we take skin sensitization testing, for instance, the estimated accuracy for animal methods is about 70 to 75% only. When compared to human data, even though animal methods often provide high informational content, they are not always human relevant. Traditional in vitro methods, on the other hand, investigate only a few biomarkers but provide limited information, therefore making it difficult to capture a full picture of what's happening and thus have difficulty providing potency information. The estimated accuracy for these methods is roughly around 75 to 80%, sometimes with very limited applicability. Based approach combined with machine learning technology, the GARD test for skin sensitization is highly accurate with over 90% predictive accuracy and broad applicability. It is also possible to obtain potency information with the GARD assays. Very well. Now we're going to speak about phototoxicity of essential oils. And we're also going to look at a document regarding the opinion of Scientific Committee on Cosmetic Products and Non-Food Products intended for consumers. It's an initial list of perfumery materials which must not form part of fragrance compounds used in cosmetic products. The document is available on europa.eu. I'm going to have the direct link of this document under this video, so if you open the descriptions, you're going to be able to find it. And later we're going to look at a fragrance that was famous, or rather infamous, for being reformulated. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the name of the fragrance, so it's going to be a surprise for you. But if you know a certain fragrance that was reformulated because of their hazardous ingredients, write their names in the comments section and let me know which ones you are familiar with. So here we're looking at the essential oils and the phototoxic effect. And we got different ones, from bergamot oil, grapefruit, and fig leaf absolute. And by the way, I've done a review on Calinia from the house of L'Artisan Parfumé. They have a fragrance, smells like fig, or fig leaf absolute. But if you watch that video, you're gonna understand that they have not used the organic ingredient, because it is actually banned by the International Fragrance Association. Another one is lime oil, lemon oil, mandarin leaf oil, and sometimes it's dependent on the maximum volume.
Marilyn Monroe.
Well, they ask you questions like, just an example, what do you wear to bed? Do you wear a pajama top, the bottoms of the pajamas, a nightgown, or... So I say Chanel number 5. Because it's the truth. And yet I don't want to say nude, but it's the truth.
So by the end of 2012, the EU, the European Union, was threatening to ban one of Chanel No. 5's key ingredients. So what's really in the world's favorite perfume? A bottle of Chanel No. 5 is sold every 30 seconds around the world. Scientists are testing whether a key ingredient, a naturally occurring type of tree moss, causes allergies. The European Commission's Scientific Committee of Consumer Safety wants the material banned, and it has been synonymous with style and sophistication for more than 9 decades. It may seem bizarre that top-selling perfume in the world, a bottle is sold every 30 seconds, and it could potentially be so damaging when tens of thousands of women across the globe wear it every day. But only 2 years after this incident, the iconic Chanel No. 5 perfume had to reformulate under new European Union regulations. Brussels targeted perfume industry with ingredient bans and new labeling requirements. Chanel No. 5 may be the world's best-selling perfume worn by some of the biggest stars on the planet, from Nicole Kidman, Marilyn Monroe,